Hi, I'm Gina Barrett from the Consortium for Public Education. I am here with Jennifer Halaszynski, a manager of regulatory and government affairs with Comcast. She's here as part of the Career Journeys video series that we're producing to share insights on professionals' pivotal experiences and career pathways. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Gina.
It's great to have you. What I was wondering if you could maybe share with us is, what does a manager of government and regulatory affairs do?
Sure. So I know that's a mouthful. So I am responsible for a certain territory, which I currently am responsible for a multi-state territory, which includes the southwest tip of Pennsylvania, the corner of Ohio, West Virginia, and Maryland. So in these local areas, I'm responsible to monitor local legislation that could either impact right-of-ways or regulatory language that could impact anything impact our business. So I have to constantly monitor agendas, constantly monitor different organizations like metropolitan planning commissions to see if there's anything that they are doing and seeing what they're up to and making sure that we have a voice at the table if they do plan on implementing any changes that directly affect our business.
Great. It sounds exciting.
It is.
What's a normal day look like for you? Is there one?
No, there is not a normal day, especially in these times. It's kind of new territory for everybody. And so a normal day is pretty much, if we have a business as usual day, it looks like, okay, I'm going to check in with my local municipalities. I'm going to check in with my local governments, see what they're up to, maybe a few calls here and there, work on different business as usual projects that I have. We have a community impact piece that we work on that we directly work with our community partners and try to do good and spread good within the community. So it's not all just business as usual. We do have a corporate social responsibility part that we feel really responsible to not only work alongside our governments, but to work with them and help them move forward on certain projects in their communities.
So Jennifer, what would you say makes you good at what you do? If I'm a student, what are some of the character traits that maybe you think are inherent to being successful in this type of position?
Yeah, so early on, I was interested in public sector work when my aunt went to work for the Department of Defense, and she's traveled all over the world. She's a very dynamic personality, quite like myself, but I think more so along the lines of personality, it's wanting to work in this space, wanting to work with multiple sectors, meaning local government, local organizations, wanting to help people in general, and that translates into a lot of things. Okay, it's a very broad statement. Wanting to help people can translate into helping a local government with certain things or helping state government with certain things. And it actually translated into private sector work. So it's not one clear path. A lot of the work that I've done has branched off into different career paths. As I said before, I was in the public sector. Now I'm in the private sector. But I think a lot is just wanting to get out there and really, you have to be really people oriented because you deal with people on a daily basis. So if you like dealing with people on a daily basis and you like to communicate with them, where I'm an extrovert, I love being around people. That's where I get my energy from. And I truly like helping people and like being around people all the time.
What's your career path been like? Where have you been before? How did you get to where you are today?
So previously I mentioned that I used to be in public sector. So I was in state politics prior to this. I am in the private sector now. So I've always envisioned myself working for government. It was something that I took to early on. I think I was fascinated with the institutions that we have in America and how they directly impact our lives. So I I took that and kind of rolled with it. And there's so many avenues you could take with that. So I worked at the state level for 13 years, and I thoroughly enjoyed influencing public policy, which is, a lot of people think that our institutions are out of touch. There are institutions, and there's everyday people can make a difference and influence policymakers one way or another. It's just, you've got to have the voice. And I think that's what's so fascinating to me, is the whole process of just everyday people influencing, whether it's local, whether it's federal lawmakers, and to move in one direction or another, because these are our institutions.
What would you say to a student who might be interested in something like this in the future? What do they need to know now? What should they be doing?
So I am a big believer in civic participation, meaning if you need something from your local government, go attend a council meeting, attend a school board meeting, get involved early. That takes nothing. Anybody could go to these meetings. They're public meetings. Get to know the process. Get to know what your tax dollars are being paid for. Get to know the process of how it directly affects you and impacts your life, and see if that's something that interests you. You could take trips to the state capitol if you'd like, if you have the means to do it, and tour the building, or watch a session from the gallery, just to see how lawmakers actually work. And if there's something that you see that really bothers you, that you don't like, you have the power to change that. So my challenge is get involved early and go to a council meeting, go to a school board meeting. What
has been your post-secondary education, and do you know of other careers maybe that have different requirements?
So I went to Pitt. I'm a two-time grad. I'm undergrad and graduate of GISPIA. That's the graduate school. Graduate, I haven't said it for so long, Graduate School Public and International Affairs. Sorry, it took me a minute. I haven't said the acronym for long. So GISPIA is graduate school, and I went for public administration. So what public administration is, it's the same as business administration degree, but it's on the public sector side of things. So public sector, for example, public sector accounting is very different than private sector accounting. So it's pretty much a business degree in the public sector.
Okay. Do you have any additional advice for students?
I would just say, be true to yourself, listen to your inner voice. Usually that's never wrong. I have always, I wanted to be, when I was young, an FBI agent, and I told myself I couldn't do it. And I didn't. And that's disappointing. And I'm glad, I'm very happy with the choices that I made, but I felt, if I didn't have that voice telling me I can't do it, maybe I would have taken a different path. But I always say, listen to your voice. Don't listen to the outside critics. If you want to do something, go for it. Try to overcome your challenges, try to overcome yourself. And you could pretty much do anything you want. I mean, I've branched off into different sectors that I never thought I would be in, and I'm very happy where I am today.
Great. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for sharing your experiences with us today. For more information about the Career Journeys video series, please check our website, www.tcfpe.org, and make sure that you check it often for our next installment.